The shocking truth. What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about protecting your baby from allergies is actually putting them at greater risk? I'm talking about potentially life-threatening allergies that could have been prevented. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn contradicts decades of old advice that many parents, and even some doctors, still follow today. The old way. Hi, I'm Sarah, and as a pediatric nutrition specialist with over 12 years of experience, I've watched the science on food allergies completely transform. I've sat with countless parents who followed the old rules, waiting until age 2 or 3 to introduce peanuts, eggs, or fish, only to discover their child developed severe allergies. But here's the thing, the research has changed dramatically, and the new guidelines from organizations like the American Academy of Pediatrics and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases could literally save your baby's life. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, because I'm breaking down complex pediatric health topics every week to help you make informed decisions for your little one. Myth number 1. Waiting longer is safer. The dangerous myth everyone believed. Let me tell you about Sarah. She came to my clinic when her 3-year-old daughter had an anaphylactic reaction to peanut butter, her very first exposure. Sarah was in tears, saying, "But I did everything right. I waited until she was old enough, just like my pediatrician told me back in 2005. And she had followed the guidelines from nearly 20 years ago." Here's what the old advice said. Avoid allergenic foods until age 1, 2, or even 3. The thinking? A baby's immune system needs time to mature before handling potential allergens. Sounds logical, right? Why this actually increases allergy risk. But here's what groundbreaking research discovered. The landmark LEAP study published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2015 found that early introduction of peanuts reduced the risk of peanut allergy by a staggering 86% in high-risk infants. Let me repeat that, 86% reduction. Scientists now understand that there's a critical window, typically between 4 to 6 months of age, when a baby's immune system is learning to tolerate foods. When we introduce allergens during this window, we're actually training the immune system to recognize these proteins as safe. Waiting too long closes this window of opportunity, and the immune system may instead treat these foods as dangerous invaders when finally introduced. Think about it this way. It's like learning a language. Babies exposed to multiple languages early become fluent naturally. Wait until they're 10, and it becomes exponentially harder. The immune system works similarly with food proteins. What should you do instead? Start introducing common allergens like peanuts, eggs, and fish between 4 to 6 months of age, once your baby has started solid foods and is developmentally ready. I'll give you the exact how-to in just a moment. Now, comment below. Were you told to wait on allergens? I want to hear your experiences. Myth number 2. Introduce 1 allergen per week. The slow and steady mistake. Here's another piece of outdated advice that's still circulating. Introduce 1 new allergen per week and watch for reactions. I get why this sounds cautious and reasonable, but let's look at what the science actually says, and more importantly, what this delay might cost your baby. The research-backed truth. The EAT study, inquiring about tolerance, published in 2016, found that introducing multiple allergens early and regularly was not only safe, but actually more effective at preventing allergies. The study introduced 6 allergenic foods: peanut, egg, cow's milk, sesame, whitefish, and wheat, starting at 3 months while continuing breastfeeding. Here's what happens when you spread out introductions over many months. You miss that critical tolerance window for some foods. Remember, that immune system training period doesn't last forever. Plus, you're creating months of unnecessary stress and meal planning complications. The smarter approach. Current guidelines suggest that once you've successfully introduced a few allergens individually, just to ensure your baby can handle solids and you know what to watch for, you can begin introducing others more quickly, even multiple times per week. The key is regular exposure, not lengthy gaps. Let me give you a real-world scenario. Start with a small amount of smooth peanut butter mixed into infant cereal on Monday. If all goes well, continue giving peanut regularly, 2 to 3 times per week minimum, and introduce egg on Wednesday, then fish on Friday. This isn't reckless. It's evidence-based and keeps that tolerance window open for all major allergens. Action step: create a simple allergen introduction chart. I'll link a free template in the description below this video. Track what you've introduced and maintain regular exposure. Consistency is crucial. Who here has successfully introduced allergens? Drop a comment and share what worked for you. Let's help other parents in our community. Myth number 3, tiny tastes are enough. The just a little bit misconception. Here's a myth that's more subtle but equally important. Giving your baby just a tiny taste of allergenic foods is sufficient for allergy prevention. I see this all the time. Parents nervously give their 6-month-old a microscopic smear of peanut butter, watch like hawks for 30 minutes, then feel they've checked the box. We introduced peanuts, they tell me proudly. Why quantity and consistency matter. But here's what the LEAP study protocol actually used. Approximately 2 grams of peanut protein, 3 times per week. That's about 2 teaspoons of peanut butter per serving, given consistently. The Petit study from Japan found similar results with eggs. They used about 1 gram of egg protein daily starting at 4 to 6 months, which significantly reduced egg allergies. Why does amount matter? Your baby's immune system needs sufficient and repeated exposure to build tolerance. A microscopic taste occasionally isn't enough to train that immune response. It's like trying to build muscle by lifting weights once a month. You simply won't see results. The Goldilocks zone. But don't go overboard. We're not talking about making peanut butter the main course. Start with about 1 to 2 teaspoons of smooth peanut butter, thinned with water, breast milk, or formula, or approximately 1 tablespoon of scrambled egg. And here's the critical part everyone misses. Consistency is more important than quantity. It's better to give appropriate amounts 2 to 3 times per week consistently than to give large amounts sporadically. Regular exposure maintains that immune tolerance. Real-world tip: mix peanut powder into oatmeal, scramble eggs into mashed sweet potato, or flake soft-cooked salmon into pureed vegetables. Make allergens a normal, regular part of meals, not scary special events. Think about this. How are you currently introducing allergens to your baby? Comment below with your biggest challenge. I read every single comment and often create follow-up videos based on your questions. Myth number 4, family history means avoid completely. The fear-based avoidance trap. But allergies run in my family. Shouldn't I be more careful about avoiding these foods? This is the myth that kept Sarah from introducing peanuts to her daughter, and it's completely backwards according to current science. What research shows for high-risk babies? Ironically, babies with a family history of allergies, eczema, or existing food allergies are the ones who benefit most from early allergen introduction, but they need medical guidance. The LEAP study specifically focused on high-risk infants, those with severe eczema or egg allergy, and found the greatest benefit in this exact group. However, and this is important, babies with severe eczema or an existing food allergy should consult with an allergist or pediatrician before introducing peanuts or other major allergens. They may need supervised introduction in a medical setting. Your action plan: a low risk, no eczema or food allergies, introduce allergens at home between 4 to 6 months. Moderate risk, mild eczema, discuss timing with your pediatrician, usually still 4 to 6 months. High risk, severe eczema or existing food allergy, see an allergist before introduction. They may recommend controlled exposure in their office. Family history isn't a red light. It's a yellow light, meaning proceed with appropriate medical guidance. The actionable game plan. Your 4-step allergen introduction strategy. All right, let's bring this all together with exactly what you need to do. Step 1. Start at 4 to 6 months. Once your baby shows signs of readiness for solids, can sit with support, shows interest in food, has good head control. Step 2. Introduce allergens one at a time initially: peanut, egg, milk, wheat, soy, tree nuts, fish, and shellfish in appropriate forms, smooth nut butters, well-cooked eggs, flaked fish. Step 3. Once you've introduced an allergen successfully, maintain exposure at least 2 to 3 times weekly. Don't introduce it once and then avoid it for months. Step 4. Keep a simple log. Note what you introduced, when, and any reactions. This helps you stay consistent and provides crucial information if concerns arise. And remember, we're introducing allergens in safe forms: smooth nut butters, never whole nuts, fully cooked eggs, not raw, and appropriately textured foods for your baby's developmental stage. Powerful recap. Let's recap what could truly save your baby from a lifetime of dangerous allergies. White heavy checkmark: start early, 4 to 6 months. Not late. White heavy checkmark: introduce allergenic foods relatively quickly, not spreading them over years. White heavy checkmark: give sufficient amounts regularly, 2-3x/week minimum, not tiny occasional tastes. White heavy checkmark: family history means get guidance, not avoid completely. The science is crystal clear. Early, consistent exposure during that critical window is your best defense against food allergies. If this information surprised you, or could help another parent, please hit that like button and share this video. Seriously, food allergies affect 1 in 13 children now. Your share could prevent another family from going through what Sarah experienced. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I'm covering the exact foods to start with and showing you how to prepare them safely for your baby. Now I want to hear from you. What's your biggest fear about introducing allergens? Or, if you've already done it, what was your experience? Drop a comment below. I respond to as many as I can, and your story might help another worried parent. And if you found this helpful, check out my video on signs your baby is ready for solid foods. I'll link it in the cards above. Remember, you're not just feeding your baby, you're potentially preventing years of anxiety, restricted diets, and dangerous allergic reactions. You've got this, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. See you in next video.